Hi everyone. I have something very exciting today for all of you. Today we'll be starting with a new series on Python problem solving. So, what I actually thought is that most of us, we actually learn Python. There are n number of videos on Python programming, how to learn Python programming. There are like crash courses on Python actually. Like if you just go through the net, okay, or through the YouTube, okay, let me just show it to you. So just for example, Python. If I just type Python, you just see what are the available options. There is various things. Okay, so you can go through this. There are a lot of channels who have made n number of videos on Python, but I'm not going to look into these things. Okay, I want to give something a better thing that you can actually practice after learning this course. Now, why I'm telling this is because see, whenever we learn any theoretical concept, okay, for example, when you're learning C programming or Python, you're learning just the content that has been given to you. You're not going to explore outside that particular content. Okay, now if you learn from a particular content, okay, for example, if I type Python full course, okay, so there are various people who have made their videos on Python. Okay, there are various videos. Okay, now what happens here is that you go through these videos. Okay, you learn Python. They are really very fantastic videos, but I'm not talking about that. Until you practice, okay, where you test your knowledge, it becomes very difficult for you to actually say that I am really very good in Python. Okay, so my entire intention to say is that if you're learning Python on the parallel lines, it is very important for you to also make sure that you practice the course. That is when you will know where you actually stand. That is very important. And one of the best website to practice this is HackerRank. Okay, I don't know if you are really aware of this, but this website is really one of the fantastic websites I've ever seen to actually practice your codes. Okay, so this is the website. Okay, what you have to do is you have to just log in. Okay, you can use your Gmail account for actually logging in. Okay, so you can just go to HackerRank and actually just click on login. Okay, so I had already logged in through my Gmail. Okay, so this is my actually profile. Okay, so you can see that actually I have been actually practicing. It is not like that I have already done all the different programs. Okay, so I am practicing it. So as I practice it, I'll be uploading the videos on the YouTube for you also to practice. Okay, so for example, if you go to Python, okay, so now you're learning a course on Python. So what I would suggest you is that now you get a various filter options like that. So till now I've gone through two of the basic programs in the Python. Okay, so first one is the hello world program, and the next one is using a conditional statement of if else and solving a particular case. Okay, now here what happens is that you have various skills. So now you want to solve different programs on Python basic, you can click on this, or if you want to go for problem solving advanced intermediate, you can select, and also based on the difficulty level you can select any one of that and the programs will appear. And now you see here the number of subdomains that are there. Now this is what I'm talking about. Okay, now when we study something as a course, okay, we study just the theory, but you see here on those topics there are n number of questions that can be asked. For example, if I type introduction, okay, and I click this as unsolved, okay, you see there are these many programs that come under the topics of actually introduction. Okay, now if I select basic data types, again I'm going to get more and more particular programs. Okay, so that is why it is very important to test your knowledge. Okay, it is really very important to test your knowledge. Okay, so here we have lot of coding challenges. Okay, so as you try to solve the programs on these particular websites, so what happens here is you keep getting rank, your rank improves, you get more and more point. As you reach each target, you'll be given a particular set of star and badges. Now what is the advantage is that you can share these details in your resume. Now that is something really very fantastic. Okay, because when you share these details in your resume, okay, the interviewer, okay, sees that, and he knows that, okay, this guy is good in coding, he has solved so many programs, this is his rank. So this sets you apart from other students who have just known the theoretical concepts. But you on the other side not only knows the theoretical concept, but you have solved some 45 to 50 different programming problems or questions based on different subdomains in Python. Okay, so that is what is actually required. So here in this particular series of Python solving the problems from HackerRank, okay, daily I will be uploading different programming solutions. Okay, so what I want you to do is go through the video, okay, try to solve it, okay, and try to make sure that you change the parameters and see what is the error you get, because the more the error you get, that is when you learn to code. Okay, so don't just copy the answer that I am showing here. Okay, try to type. Okay, it is very important you type the program, you execute it, that is when you will learn. So now we will see the basic thing. So once you get these programs like this, okay, the first program once you log into your HackerRank account in Python is the Hello World program. So if you click on this, you will get a window something like this. Okay, so what the question is on your left hand side, okay, and you have the submission, leaderboard, discussion happening, editorial, and also the tutorials are also there. Okay, now in the tutorials, if you click, you just get what is the objective, what is that you need to do. Okay, all these things are actually discussed in the tutorials. Okay, now this is the question. Okay, so here's a simple line of code that can be executed in Python. Print hello world. Now your job is to make sure that to get the same output, you need to make sure that your sample output looks something like this. That is as much as simple. So now you see I'm just defining a variable called as Aditya underscore B, and I'm giving the data between the double quotes as hello world. Okay, and then I try to print my variable and make sure that whatever the sample output they are expecting you, that should be there. And by mistake, if you miss even a comma also, it will not accept it. I'll show you now. You see, sample test case 0, wrong answer. See, my output is hello world only, but you see what is the expected output. So even as small as a comma, if you're missing, you get a wrong answer. Okay, so we'll try to run this again. Okay, so I'll just put the comma here and try to run it. See, now it is correct. Okay, so sample test case is cleared, so I'm getting the expected outcome, whatever they wanted it. Okay, now what you need to do is you just need to click on the submit code. Now it is done. Okay, and automatically, okay, it will show you the next challenge. Okay, so now what you can do is that you see here you will get it. Okay, so like what is the difficulty level, what is the maximum score, and how when you submit it, what is your rank. So all these things it will show you. Okay, now what we can go is you can go to introduction part again. Okay, and you can try and solve other problems also. So that was the first code. Now the second code is to actually use an if else statement and actually print different output conditions. Okay, so I'll just click on this. Okay, so here the task is given to you. Okay, and on this right hand side you have the interface, or you have the ID where you have to run the code. And what you can do is, here you can select whichever so that ID you want to run your program. So I'm selecting Python 3. Now here I've already written the code. Okay, but before we see here, I want you to try the code in the basically idle version. Okay, so what I've done here is that I have tried this entire code on my Python IDE, and I have given the explanation for each and every command line also. See, first we'll try to understand what is the problem statement. Okay, and then we will try to learn or try to execute this particular code. Now here the first thing is, the task for you is to write a program that takes a positive integer. Now from this you can understand now only that whatever input you are giving, it is a positive integer, not a negative integer. Okay, so whenever you have these types of question, the first thing is you need to highlight the most important contents from the question itself. Okay, and perform certain conditional action. Okay, so this is a conditional action based program. Okay, based on the value of that particular integer. Now what are the condition? If the number you are entering, if it is a odd number, then it should print weird. Now if your number is even number, okay, and it is in the range of 2 to 5, then it should print not weird. Okay, so first condition is what? You will be entering a positive integer, and based on the certain condition, if your number is an odd number, it should print weird. If your number is even and it is between 2 to 5, then it should print not weird. Next one is, if the number is even, okay, and is in the range of 6 to 20, it should print weird. And if the number is even and greater than 20, then it should print not weird. So this is the condition. See, the best way to understand this is, you write down the condition in a piece of paper and you mark that what are the condition that it should come out with. Okay, so once you're done with this, it will be easier for you to write the program. Okay, so that is why, rather than explaining the condition directly on the website, okay, I actually have explained it separately, because if you don't understand the condition or the task that lies in front of you, it is very difficult to code, because it is quite complicated. First thing, input is a positive integer. Next thing, if the whatever number you are entering, if it is an odd number like 5, now you enter 5. Okay, so your output, it will print as weird. Okay, and if that number, okay, is even, now you have not entered 5, you have entered 6, it is an even number, and if it is in the range of 6 to 5, then it should print not weird. So it will not print not weird even though the number is 6. It is an even number. Okay, but it is not in the range of 2 to 5. Now if the number is in the range of 6 to 20, then it should print weird. Why? Because my number is now 6, it falls under this particular category, so it will print weird. Okay, so but if my number was something like 32, okay, then what will happen? It is greater than 20, it will print not weird. Okay, we will try all these test cases first in our ideal window itself. Okay, so first what we need to do is, we need to define a function called as check weirdness. Okay, because our end agenda is to check if the number is weird or not weird. So I've defined a function called as check weirdness, and I've given a variable called as n. Okay, so n is nothing but basically it is saying that the number that I am going to input. Okay, so here basically the next function, next what I'll do is, I'll give an if condition that says that if n modulus 2 is not equal to 0, then print as weird. Okay, why? Because if my first condition is if the number is odd, it should print weird. Okay, so if the number is not equal to 0, if the remainder is not equal to 0, then it is a weird. Because if the remainder is equal to 0, then 100% is an even number. If the remainder is not equal to 0, then only it is an odd number, so it should print weird. So here I have clearly explained this. Okay, so first thing, I am defining a function called as check weirdness, okay, followed by in parenthesis n. Now what I am going to do here is that I am going to take the modulus operator, which gives me the remainder when an n is divided by 2. For example, if my n is 2, 2 divided by 2, what will be the remainder? Remainder will be 0. So it means the number is even and it will not print weird. But if I give as 3, so what will happen? There will be a remainder, okay, 1, which is not 0. It means the number is odd, okay. And what will happen? It will print me a weird output, okay. Next, if the number is even, the code proceeds to else block, okay. So if the number is a even number, okay, so then what happens? Because only if the number is odd, it will print and exit the loop. But if the number is even, then there should be some else condition, no? So if the number is even, then what will happen? This particular command line will come into picture. So what is this particular command line? This line checks if the number n that I have entered falls in the second condition. What is our second condition? To check if the number is in the range of 2 to 5. Okay, first thing is it is not an odd. So 100% it is an even. So in even also, if it comes between 2 to 5, okay, or if the number is greater than 20, okay, if the number is greater than 20, that were our two condition, right? So that I have included within the one statement only. Okay, if the either of the condition is true, it prints not weird. If my number is between 2 to 5, or if it is greater than 20 also, it will print not weird. And if my number is even but doesn't satisfy the condition mentioned above, it prints weird. Okay, so this is how you give a conditional statement. So first you are checking if it is an odd or even. If it is an odd, then it will print weird, and that's all. Your program is done. If it is an even number, then I am going to check the other two condition, that is if the number is between 2 to 5 or greater than 20. Okay, if it falls under this condition, that too as an even, it will print as not weird. Now what happens? It does not fall under any of this condition, and then the number is even, okay, but does not fall under this condition. Then what will happen? The number will print as an weird. Okay, so this is the command line or the command for taking the user input. So here I am giving int input dot strip. It means that whatever input I am taking, that particular input is then converted to an integer, and then I am calling the function that I had defined here, followed by the number. Okay, this is basically the program that I have used in my HackerRank compiler. Okay, so I will show how this basically works. So this is the same program that I have actually I just showed you, or I just explained it to you. Now once you are done with typing the command, okay, what you need to do is you just need to click on running the code. Now once you're done with running the code, if your test cases are met, now these test cases are already given by them, so they themselves test the cases. So if it is 3, it is an odd number. So your first output will be weird. So that is where you're done. But you have another option also. You can go and test for your custom cases. Now I'll give 2, which is an even number, and try to run it. Now you see I get an output as not weird because it comes, first of all it even, then it is between 2 to 5. Okay, next what I will do is I will give another number between 6 to 20. You see, I'll give 50, I'll give 14 and check even in 6 to 20 category. See, it will give me weird. Now I will give a number which is more than 20. I'll give 21 and check. See, again it will give me weird output. Okay, so this is how you basically solve a question on a HackerRank. Okay, so this is the second program. The first program was on the hello world. This is the second program where you're using a conditional statement based on the different conditions that have been given to you. So these are the types of the question that you can actually expect in your interview also. So they give you conditional statement. Now if you see, if you have done a course on Python, you would have studied conditional statement, if else, okay, and then else statement, and that for loop or while loop, all these different types of loop conditions and all, and else condition, everything would have studied. But this is how you use those particular conditional statements in solving a particular problem. Okay, so that is why it is very important not just studying the theoretical concept, but also to practice different types of program based on the concept that you have studied. Okay, that is when you will become confident. Okay, now once you solve this, okay, now you are confident on the if else statement. Okay, so next in the coming lectures we will try to solve further more questions on this. Okay, so basically the next question is going to be on arithmetic operators. Okay, once you're done with this, okay, you just click on submit the code. Okay, it will show you the different hidden cases also. They will try to run it, and you have passed all these particular test cases. Okay, now once this is done, you can see, you can go back and check how your rank is changed, and it also gives you an update of how many more points you need to get your first star. Now whatever problems you have solved, okay, you can just click on this solved. It will show you the number of problems you have solved. Okay, and next, what is the challenge? It appears on this particular window. Okay, so in the coming lecture we'll try to solve this arithmetic operators. Okay, so if you have any doubt, any queries or anything, please do comment. Okay, I will try to answer the comments or the queries. If you have anything, if you need a better explanation, please do let me know in the comment box. I'll try to enhance the way in which I am explaining so that you can understand. But it is very important that you practice. See, practice. That is all you need to do when you're doing a coding. Okay, you need to practice coding. Coding can never be learned just by seeing or studying. It is not a theoretical subject. It is something which is very much practical. So get your laptop, practice the codes. Don't be afraid of getting an error. The more you get error, be happy because you're learning something which others are not learning. So practice as much as you can. We will again meet in our next video on arithmetic operators. Okay, thank you.